rainfalls continuing into the catchment area, and the Bureau indicated to this afternoon that they expect that rain to continue for at least the next 6 to 12 hours. We're starting to see a couple of small breaks every now and then, which indicates it might be starting to break up, but heavy rainfalls for the next 6 to 12 hours is partly what into the catchment, not so much here in Brisbane, but in the catchment. That is what is driving some of the rapid change in this modelling and the dramatically deteriorating situation.
Can you just outline what assistance you're getting from the military at this stage?
I might ask Ian to address that.
Certainly in the main. Obviously we have strategic planning cells with us embedded in our areas that are planning and managing all of this process. But the major thing that the military is providing is the heavy lift air assets. We've also used their vehicles. They're very unique vehicles to try and get into very difficult terrain. So that's been part of it, and we've borrowed extra vehicles, four-wheel drives in particular, from them. That is the best support that they can provide us at the moment.
So no personnel at this stage?
Oh, well, we have a large number of their personnel, but mainly in the planning and logistics phase.
Premier, just finally, for the people who are very naturally feeling quite anxious and frightened out there, you addressed that earlier. What do you say to them right now who are listening to you, just wanting to know exactly what to do?
To the people here in the southeast who are facing an anxious time in the next day or 2 days in Brisbane and in Ipswich, I understand that you may be very frightened by what is happening around you. What we need now is calm, and I am here to reassure you that our emergency response is doing everything it can to keep you updated, to protect your homes, your properties and your neighbourhoods. But we do have a very serious natural disaster on our doorstep, and we will all have to work together. Our commitment to you is that we will provide you with information as regularly as we get it. As soon as we know it, we'll be telling it to you, and to that end we'll be here every 2 hours to update. Sometimes there won't be much to say that's new, but other times there might be quite dramatic information. So people should certainly be listening to media, and I thank the media for the job they're doing today to make sure people know what's happening. Okay, thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks.
And that is Queensland Premier Anna Bligh with some very, very sobering news. Just looking at her eyes, they're glassy. She has not had much sleep. We will now go to 7 News presenter Mark Ferguson, who is by the Brisbane River. Mark, what is the latest there?
G'day there, Robert. Yeah, the latest is not good. Up until a few moments ago, we were all hoping that the Brisbane River was slowly rising. It has certainly broken its banks in many parts, certainly here in the suburb of West End where I am this afternoon. But we were all hoping that it would rise gradually, but not cause too much trouble, certainly get nowhere near that dreadful 74 flood level. But as we've just heard from the Premier, over the next 48 hours or so, combined with all the rain that's coming down from the west in the catchment area, and with high tides that will come up from the east in the Brisbane River, they're heading for a new flood level, a new disaster flood level higher than 74. So the news is certainly not good, and it's certainly going to have a horrific impact here in the city over the next 48 hours.
And Mark, that is chilling. There are such long-lasting memories of 1974, and we're talking, 36, 37 years ago now, and people remember that, how horrific that was, and this is going to exceed it. What are people saying down there on the ground?
Yeah, some of the local crews here behind me were shaking their heads when that news came through. I worked up here in the late 80s as a younger journo, and I used to look at some of the vision from the 74 flood. Some of the old-timers, some of the cameramen would pull out their show reel and show me what actually happened in the city in 74. And to think that the flood levels could go as high or even higher again is truly frightening. I'm hoping the city is better equipped, has better flood mitigation standards these days. But again, there was something like 7,000 homes were swamped in 74, and as we just heard in the press conference, authorities are trying to work out how many homes may go under this time, but it certainly sounds like it will be in the many thousands.
It does indeed, Mark. You're right. There are 6,500 that are projected to be flooded. There are a further 16,500 as well. And we're talking about Brisbane here. This has been north of Brisbane. Now it's come to the capital city. People just must be amazed that it is happening again.
It is. There's already not a sense of panic, but a sense of trepidation here this afternoon. A lot of businesses in the city centre closed down. They sent their workers home. They emptied out the car parks. ferry services have stopped, train services to the north and west of the city have stopped. So there was a slow preparedness, if you like, underway, just in case, but certainly with that last press conference from the Premier and the authorities that stood beside her, the emergency and the evacuations will now be stepping up a lot. I guess the only good news, the only silver lining is that unlike that devastating wall of water that we've seen come through Toowoomba and further east, it won't happen here. It will be a slow rise, so people will have plenty of time to prepare, plenty of time to get out, and let's hope they all listen to authorities and take care.
Mark Ferguson, thank you very, very much. And we just see that scene behind Mark then, absolutely amazing. The banks completely fill up. We're looking at areas like Murphy's Creek, Grantham and Withcott that are well and truly outside Brisbane, but they are the main concerns. We will have the latest weather information next in this special 7 News presentation.
Surviving is just the start.
Likewise.
In a couple of days, you'll be married.
Are you trying to talk me out of this?
Look at me and tell me you're sure.
This is the fight. This is the fight. Seventh new Grey's Anatomy in 2011.
If you live in or own a townhouse or unit, it's time to get ready for digital TV. That's because your building may need its shared antenna system upgraded or have one installed for the first time. If so, it can take a while to get agreement from all owners. If you're a tenant and unsure if your building is digital ready, speak to the owner or property manager. And if you're an owner, you should speak with a body corporate to make sure you're ready. To find out more, visit the website or call 1800 20 10 13. Authorised by the Australian Government, Capitol Hill, Canberra.
Ready for a new start in life?
And save $19,000.
Then visit our largest display village, Palm Lake Resort, Eagleby Heights.
And see more savings, more value, more fun than ever before.
Over 50 has its privileges, you know.
Like getting more for your money.
And right now, our prices have been reduced to fit your budget just right.
You'll always get our best possible price at
Palm Lake Resort.
Jackson's Foam and Vinyl at Raceview have the largest range of do-it-yourself upholstery supplies. Foams, fabrics, springs, marine fittings, carpet, vinyls, auto supplies, door seals, rubbers and trim clips. Jackson's Foam and Vinyl, Raceview, Ipswich.
Cretford's Caravan's massive January stock clearance sale. Over $5 million of stock is big price to clear. So if you're in the market, now's the